Dice Crisis Hotline. It's the hotline. I honestly don't know what led me to make the intro to the hotline that way, but I love it. Hi everybody. Welcome to Dice Crisis Hotline. I am your host. Go ahead.
It honestly reminds me of those, you were up really late in the 90s, like 3 a.m. You see those soft core commercials come on. Call us for our hotline.
Yes. Yeah, it's a cross between Delilah and call-in hotlines. Yeah. Late night call-in hotlines and Delilah. We're gonna get a copyright claim for that one. But anyway, welcome to Dice Crisis. I am your host, Mongo Cross. This is where we discuss everything Dice Crisis. I am here joined by my hostess with the mostest, the Robin to my Howard Stern, that still small voice of chaos, Eddie Black, everybody. Yay!
Hello, my lovelies. How are we all doing tonight?
We're alive and well and kicking. And
yeah.
We are joined. We do have a couple of special guests tonight, but let me go ahead and introduce the players that have deigned us with their presence to be able to handle the questions and comments and concerns of the day. First, of course, our fearless leader, our patron saint of pain, our dungeon master, Justin Langston, who is phoned in.
Hello, all.
So you'll see him as
really, but
you'll see him as Darkwing Muck tonight, and our conspiracy theorist, Royale and chef of 1,000 recipes, Gordon. Everybody.
Justin, is this your first time phoning it in as a DM?
Not even close.
Definitely not. And so they're going to be hanging out with us all night. Eddie, we got a couple of special guests, and we got a returner. We have a repeat offender, I believe.
Yes, we have tonight one of my special friends and guests. We have Kayla coming in from California.
California.
Hi.
And then I think you have a special guest with us tonight, don't you, Mongo?
I do. It is my buddy and hopefully your new buddy. He's also a coworker and a roommate. We're all pretty closely knit in this house. That's my buddy, Mr. John Porter. Everybody, this sexy beast.
Tell me more, please.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
Indeed.
Exactly.
Well, now that we're all here, let's move into you got questions, we got answers. So how do you want to handle this, Eddie? Who would we like to start with?
We are going to go ladies first. We're going to ask Kayla. You had a question for Torsten tonight, didn't you?
I do.
Oh, well, let me get into character. Because I'll answer your question as both Torsten and then, of course, as myself. So, getting into character and go. Okay.
Okay, so how does Thorsten feel about his all his church members being turned into skinwalkers?
It's an abomination, really. Tyr is not happy, nor am I. I don't want to show my hand too early in the game. but there are many faces of justice, and many people forget that Tyr is also the god of war, and all should fear when a good man goes to war.
Mhm.
And that's his Torsten. And as Mongo, I I love that something terrible like that happened to Torsten. I love things that drive characters into those darker places. That make them really that make the player like myself really have to think about how would how does Torsten react in this situation? It's pretty horrid. But yeah, so there you go.
Mhm.
I hope those answers were satisfactory.
Mhm. Definitely.
I will say this. And you had the creepy walker people coming out, Justin, and you were describing it to us. I just honestly thought, I am so glad Riona is running up the stairs away from this. I did not want to deal with that. No.
There seems to be an issue whenever I get an idea in my head. It's usually not good for my players, but it's a lot of fun for me.
And John, before we move on to you, we have another player joining us. He is a little bit late, so you guess who it is.
I wonder who's usually late to the campaign. I'm gonna go with Scrack.
It's Harry.
I mean, are we talking
also
lately
known
or
as Scrag.
overall?
Yeah.
Overall.
In the overalls. Yeah, Harry's late.
Hi, Harry.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing great. We've already started the show.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I just got out of class. So
Right on. So Harry's phoning in as well. We're in the question portion of our fans. Kayla just asked Torsten a question of all people.
right.
And now, Kayla, did you have another question or
I do, but it's for
for Haskar?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
I couldn't think of any others.
he might be on later.
I think we all
Right.
have questions for
Well, I mean,
Haskar.
I can do it. I can pass for him right now.
Yeah, here's Haskar's answer.
Like I said, his character's kind of sus right now, so.
Okay.
How so? How is this character sus?
I don't know. I have lots of questions for him.
Right
Oh,
on.
please feed me your
They need to
suspicions
do with the
so I
father.
can.
Do not feed the dungeon master your suspicions because he's already fucking with us enough.
Quick
So-
story to jump in here. Last campaign, I made the mistake of saying out loud that if you put us in a round room, we'd never get out. Yeah.
That's
What was
fair.
it? 20 minutes later?
We were in a
We're in
round room.
We couldn't figure a way out. Yeah. So we do not give ideas to the dungeon master. But we do have a second guest who would
Yep.
like to ask his questions with his big furry mane.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys may not feed things to the dungeon master, but there's no rule for me.
Can we make one real quick?
Hit
And
us, John. Just remember, I have the dump button. Go ahead.
Yep.
There you go. So, Eddie, I really like how you've been playing your character, and that made me think, what are some unique qualities in classes or characters that y'all wish you'd like to see more portrayed in D&D?
Let's start with Eddie on that one.
So more, originally I wasn't going to play such a character so close to home. I was actually going to go a little more crazy and do try to get the DM to sign off on letting me be a kobold
Oh, cool.
and be like a smart kobold, because I wanted to be a wizard kobold, because I just thought the idea of something 2 feet tall with a book that's larger than him running around throwing out spells.
That
I
would
would
be
have
So-
made you stand on it so that you could see where you're throwing those spells.
Yeah, exactly like that. It would have been like, have to drag it behind me.
That's a great idea. I love it.
Yeah. No, I thought because this is our first campaign where we have an audience, I want to play a little more close to home, something I can't mess up too much. As I crochet myself a cloak. I don't know. What about you, Rusty? Or Gordon?
I don't know if this is gonna fit with your answer, but your question. One thing that I'd like to see incorporated more in this version of Dungeons and Dragons would be making crafting something,
Ooh, yeah.
right?
Like,
Because like they've done tremendous work on classes, subclasses, spells, martial abilities, races, languages, feats, backgrounds. But crafting?
yeah.
They go, yeah, sure. Here's an ability.
If I may.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, if I may. That is something that I've always found rather intriguing myself. And I have I in our last campaign, we actually did do a little bit of crafting.
Yep.
I think we made 3 weapons total.
Yep.
Couple of suits
but-
of armor.
Yeah, something like that. But I've really been reading up on how to actually craft things. And I would very much like to incorporate that myself.
That's awesome.
It'd be nice if they would just give you something. One of the books that came out, was it Xanathar's Guide to Everything?
Yep.
Had a few like rough guidelines to crafting, but like every other game I've played has had some sort of crafting system in it, whereas this just has, yeah, it's gonna take you a while and some gold.
How about you, Harry? Nope. Looks like we
Just
lost
like
him.
that?
That's Harry.
That's okay.
He ran from the question. He got scared. So I guess it means it's your turn, Mongo.
Well, things that I don't. Now, was your question more towards like D&D as a whole, like the gaming system itself? Little weird things I'd like to see more of, or our game?
Yes.
Okay, well, because one, it's kind of, for me, it's kind of a praise to our group, but also a wish for other people. Is people more in depth of being your character, almost to the edge of LARPing. I'd like to see more.
You mean like people putting on face makeup?
Yeah. Like if you have like if your character has a horrible scar across his face that was once, his religious war paint, and or if your character wears a smart hat and sunglasses all the time, but that's what I was saying. That's kind of the praise. And that's something that is steadily coming along in our group. We talk, Eddie's making her character's trademark cloak right now. Gordon wears, the hat and the shades. I'm looking at the best, most effective way to put Torsten's scars on every week without having to spend hours doing it. But that just more in depth of it. And also I also want to see, maybe I might even do this as a one shot or something, but I want to see like the weirder characters being played, you know, like we've done it. We've done some one shots where we've had, ninja elephants and and we've, we have, paladin lions and tigers and stuff like that. Paladin werewolves and, like these are in one shots and stuff, but I want to see like, a fairy cleric. I want to, in a long-term campaign, I want to see, like let's move a little more out of our comfort zones,
I'm already playing a wizard, dude.
right. I was
That's as far out of my comfort zone as I get.
Hey, I'm
The
playing
stranger the character, the more into my comfort zone I get. So
yeah, right. So yeah, I guess that's my answer. Just that more in-depth acting side of it, make it bigger, make it more.
If I could jump back in, I know Wizards of the Coast has moved away from specifically gender specific classes. The Paladin used to be a male only class, and that's fine. I totally agree with that, but I would like to see some female only classes because there is a difference in my mind between, say, a witch and a wizard, right?
Absolutely.
More so than a wizard and a sorcerer or a wizard and a warlock. There's a lot of room to play in some pagan-esque classes that I feel like they're not quite there yet. They have the druid, and it's core and it's slightly pagan, but I feel like there's room for some more interesting casters in that regard.
To just, I guess, bunny hop of what you just said, Gordon, I am Wiccan, which you all know, and males and females are called witches. I found that out recently. So the idea of making a class of witch, I love it. I love the idea of it because you have sorcerer, wizard, and then just make witch. I would play it in a heartbeat.
And once you have the witch class, you have a built-in second class, the witch hunter.
There you go.
Did you have any other questions, John? You're frozen.
Oh, look at that gorgeous mane, though.
That's his thinking face.
We're on the same Wi-Fi network. How is he frozen and I'm not?
Justin, did you have any thoughts on the last question?
Oh, sorry, my internet is saying it went out for a second.
It's all good.
Do any of you have any dice superstition, lucky dice, or a way to punish dice?
Hold. I would like you to meet my big ass bag of dice.
Ooh.
And open. So these are just like all the dice I have in here. And then I have special dice that I only play with when I get to roll inside my big ass box of book.
Ooh, I like that.
I have
That is the
another
epitome of a dice goblin.
pouch. And inside that pouch has a pouch. Inside that pouch, are my death saving dice.
Ooh.
They're all bloody. So whenever I roll death saves, and I'm allowed to, I use these dice instead of D20s on the D&D Beyond, because I want to roll my death if I'm gonna die. I don't want no digital to roll my death. But other than that, I have so many dice, way more dice than I should have.
That would be my response to your thing is, dice superstition. I don't really have one. Dice are dice to me. That being said, we exclusively use D&D Beyond dice.
Okay.
For when we're playing in the campaign, so everybody can see everybody else's dice rolls.
Yeah.
Just keep things on the up and up. And not that we think anybody would cheat, but it just makes things easier.
It keeps everyone honest.
Yeah. But it's a looks like we kind of lost Justin, but also getting him back. So yeah, I have things with the D&D Beyond dice. I certainly, if you, I am almost convinced that if you are rolling outside of your proficiencies, you're going to lose. You're going to roll low. And again, like punishing dice, I don't really believe in punishing dice. I will just stop using the set. I'll just put them back in their bag and just set them aside and be like, we'll come back later. You obviously don't want to play today. And
so that's called timeout.
yeah. But the frustrating thing is I can't do that on D&D Beyond.
Kayla can vouch for this. I have gotten so angry at my dice that I have not only melted them in the oven, thrown them in the street, smashed them with a hammer, and or all of the above.
I've thrown mine across the room a few times.
You're the reason people talk about finding dice in the street?
Yes. I disown them. I'm like, no, roll 2 1s in a row.
How about you, Gordon?
So I only have one set of dice. It came with the D&D Essentials kit, which is a great kit, by the way. I highly recommend it. It has a lot in it. So no, I don't really have anything much in that regards. But when I'm building a new character, whether or not we're doing rolled stats, I will do rolled stats. Because I feel like there's a fair bit of luck you can glean from your character. And like I was doing one a while ago, and I rolled 2 3s for ability scores. In order to roll 2 3s, you have to roll 4 4s at a time. It's like, and if something like that happens, you just delete that character and restart.
Yeah, that's the universe telling you something.
Yeah,
I also have more dice. This is my Riona dice. I haven't even used them yet. They are actual gemstones.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, super pretty. Yeah. I'm the dice goblin of the group.
Yeah.
No.
I think Brian is runner-up for Dice Goblin, but
Who?
I think I have 3
Brian.
sets of dice, and I never use them. One was a set that I bought, very pretty. They're black and gold, swirly, marbly looking. I've never used them. I got the Essentials kit just like Gordon did. Never used them. And I found myself in a Goodwill one day, and I saw this black leather bag just sitting there with a price tag on it. I'm like, what is this? I opened it up, and there were gold and red metal dice. Ooh. And I was like, oh, these are awesome, super sharp and deadly. I must have them. And I've never used them, so yeah.
See, now you got me like digging out all my dice. I got my treasure chest. I got my fairy in a jar with dice.
Well, very cool.
I got a handmade D20 that I got from a friend. I got
very cool.
I got my critical roll die that I've never used. And then this one, I still don't know how to use it, but I think it's a D60. Just a lot of numbers.
Notice everybody goes.
Yeah, it's like, let's see. Okay, I rolled it. 38.
Woo, bingo.
Yep. No, I got like all these little knickknacks over here, and they're just mostly dice or junk or stuff, but I kind of do it for Mongo because he plays I Spy with my
I totally
stuff.
do. Yeah.
Little fun game.
surprise me.
Well, yeah. His thing is he tries to find all of my
Gnomes.
the gnomes and then my special stones.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
My adult
special
stones. My adult stones. In this vicinity that I won't stay, but it's right here. Oh, and then
Are you
Bulbasaur.
discussing your keen box?
my keen boxes, yes.
Keen box.
My adult mushrooms, as that you would say.
That's
and
a
then-
very different type of mushroom. Thank you.
So, oh yeah, but you can really trip balls on them.
Yeah, you could.
Effing Mongo.
I'm too young for this conversation.
Did you have anything else, Chad?
Yeah. Here's a little morbid one. Do any of you think there's going to be a player death? And if so, at what level?
Absolutely.
It's gonna happen.
There will absolutely be a character. There is no way there is not going to be a character death. What level?
I say before 5. I think before we actually hit level 5, that I think one of us is going to die. Because once you get past level 5, you can start healing a little better. You can start resurrecting a little better. I feel before we hit level 5, one of us is going to die. And my toss-up is between Hasgar or Rusty.
Ooh.
Rusty takes
I think it's
risks.
me.
You take risks. You run, but you take risks.
I see. I see. This is where you and I differ just a little bit. I think we're definitely going to have a death, and Haskar is definitely on my top of my Deadpool. I think he's going to go out first, most likely. But I think it's going to be after level 5. I think it's going to be in some kind of big blaze of glory kind of thing. Because he
Chokes to death on a mango.
yeah, he doesn't he doesn't talk much. He doesn't like Kayla said, he's kind of sus.
There will be a character death, but it won't be until level 11.
Ooh.
Oh wow, level 11. You think
Justin, I think you know why.
Justin can't kill us before level 11?
I think
Challenge
I-
accepted.
I think he won't kill us before level 11. I think he'll have tons of opportunities, but 11 is like what, tier 3 of play?
Mm-hmm.
That's when the gloves really come off. And last campaign, that is where the gloves really came off, and he like spends 5 minutes at the start of a session going, "Okay, guys, this is serious now."
No, I remember
Just
that.
so you know.
There are spells that will kill you, and you're not coming back.
I will say I am prepared to die every session in the sense that I have my backup
Same.
character loaded on the screen.
My backup character has come a long way in the last little while.
Justin and Brian have been prepping us players since we started talking about a new campaign. They've been prepping us for, you are most likely not going to finish this game with your original character. They are 110% hell bent on making this a very difficult campaign. And so
I mean, there's also the fact that during the last session, which we're not going to discuss too much.
No, we're not discussing it all. Only
no.
3 and 4.
I'm not discussing what happened, but one of our players kept putting in group chat, he does know what level we are, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right, so I'm cutting in. John, do you have any other questions that you would want to throw out?
Just one super generic one.
Okay.
What are your favorite aspects of D&D and favorite things to portray as a character or a DM?
I will let Justin do the first one. How do you what's your favorite aspects of DMing?
With me, I have 40 something years of creating worlds in my head because I was a lonely kid. Yeah, I literally lived in the backwoods of Oklahoma growing up. So, branching out into different ideas as a DM, you go into a shop and suddenly there's an emo dwarf kid behind the counter
Mhm.
type of situation. Or hey, you go into that blacksmith and instead of the burly, thick corded arms of a dwarven blacksmith just pounding away on steel, it's actually a petite half elf girl who just found her passion in life. I really like breaking the norms and exploring how different the world can be.
That's very cool.
I think my favorite aspect of Dungeons and Dragons is growing up in my childhood. I didn't get to be a kid. I had 9 brothers. My mom worked 3.5 jobs, and I was the only girl, which meant I did the cooking, I did the cleaning, even though I was the second youngest. So getting to play Dungeons and Dragons really gets me a chance to just be the kid I've always wanted to be, to enjoy life, to step out of being an adult for 4 hours out of my week and just be like, fuck the world, let's have fun. So it's the best type of therapy, even though I should really go to real therapy.
Ain't nobody got time
I
for
love
that.
it.
Nope.
Gordon.
So I started off playing Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 and Icewind Dale and Neverwinter Nights and all the add-ons for all those things. So I started off like being a munchkin, a power gamer, right? Wanting to figure out how to make the strongest character or the strongest group possible. And I didn't really start playing Dungeons and Dragons proper until COVID started. And a friend of mine on Facebook found a group, started doing Dungeons and Dragons on Twitch. And this was for me the first time I really seen Dungeons and Dragons. I'm a little bit of the holdover from the whole 80s thing. And once I started watching it, it was really the social aspect of it that kept me interested more so than playing World of Warcraft or any other game, because like I kind of love these other idiots. And it's that you're a DM, you're not the idiot, Justin, you're the idiot leader.
Well, I started playing D&D, back in the Stone Age, and
Satanic panic.
yeah, exactly. It was always so confusing to my mom because I would go to school. Second edition had just dropped, AD&D had just dropped, and I was in junior high, and my mom was not able to put it together in her head that I was shoving wizards and dragons and books into my backpack and my Bible. She's like, wait, what? I thought that was satanic. And no, Mom, it just, it's just it. And growing up, it was my escape from the chaos and trauma and honestly really scary shit that was happening in my childhood. And so after I got out of all that, I still enjoyed playing because it kept me I like being somebody else. I like becoming somebody else. When I moved, to high school and college and stuff, and when I started acting and performing a lot more, D&D was a very method acting outlet for me. And my favorite thing about being a DM, I mean, there's only one proper answer to that. The phenomenal cosmic power.
Itty bitty living space.
There is no itty bitty living space. It is uncontrolled, all encompassing godhood.
All right. Well, we're gonna stop. What was that, Kayla? I was about to say, Kayla.
I
You
do have another question.
okay?
So, my parents raised me on second edition. My favorite is 3.5. What is your guys' favorite edition of all the D&D books?
Second edition.
Hands down, 3.5.
I'm a
I like-
5e baby, so what can I say?
Mhm.
Although 3.5 did have some interesting things.
I feel like it was a little more fluid. Just my own personal opinion.
I like making people do math. Second edition.
I hate doing math, but okay. You want to do some math?
Sure.
Second edition came out in 1989. How old were you in 1989, Mongo?
In 1989, I was 14 years old. I was in junior high.
Justin, how old were you?
16.
Rusty, were you alive in 1989?
I was 8.
I wasn't even born yet.
Yeah.
I was born that year.
I feel like I'm a little young for Mid Dice Crisis, but you guys make me feel so welcome.
So old?
You want to? I want to say this before I'm going to say my story, and then we're going to send the guests off. I coughed. I sneezed so hard today. I threw out my back. It's why I'm leaning, because I can't like sit this way. Like I threw out my back from a sneeze.
Oh,
today.
you still have to sneeze to hurt yourself?
I was
I
just
can
gonna
go to
say,
bed.
I 2 days ago, Cody was with me when it happened. I breathed, and my spine was like, and we're out.
All right. Well, I want to thank our guests for coming tonight. It was an honor having you guys, and we're so glad you're watching our show. If
Yes,
you have,
thank you.
if you have any other questions or comments, don't forget to just put it in Facebook or YouTube, and we'll answer them for you. You guys can stay on if you want, but we're done with the Q&A for you guys. But Rusty has a couple questions that he got from one of his friends, his cousin, correct?
Nephew.
Nephew, my bad.
Nephew.
And he has a few questions. If you want to ask the ones for the people who are available, you can go ahead and ask those. But if
All
you guys
right.
don't want to stay, you don't have to stay.
So this one isn't really for anyone here. It's just in general. Is Skrek, Harry, secretly the smartest character using others to get himself out of town?
I honestly think
I
he's
think
the
so.
smartest character in the
I
entire
think
group.
so. He says what he feels and he means what he says, and yeah, not too many people can do that correctly.
Without using words?
Yeah.
What is your nephew's hashtag so people are at such and such so we can bring him up and
It is. I don't know what he's on.
And too sly for you.
It's Nosnazip at
That's not-
Nosnazip 93. Sorry.
probably
Uh,
on Facebook,
He's
Or-
on Facebook and
Twitter.
other things.
I'm still learning Twitter, so
Yeah, Twitter's weird.
it is.
Does
You have to go in
Rayona
well armed with thick skin.
does Rayona believe that Haskar has been hiding information about her father?
I'm not gonna lie, Riona is super trusting, super open, super loving. Riona doesn't believe he's hiding something, but Riona feels he knows more than he's saying, in the sense like he knows everything, but he's hiding like how he met my dad, or there's something there, but he's not lying to her. He's just not telling her. So like,
Apparently,
she trusts him
Kayla's not
enough.
the only one that thinks he's sus.
Riona loves him. he has been with her for the last year. He's been super sweet to her. He takes care of her. He makes sure nobody messes with her. So Riona loves him. He is the other father in her life that she needed.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that episode of Criminal Minds.
But she honestly does not trust him 100%. It's like
The super trusting person does not trust him 100%.
It's 99.99999% that she trusts. There's just a little like, I don't know. I mean, the only person she's ever trusted 100% is her father, and that's not working out. So yeah, I will say after finding the underground area about my dad, it kind of went from 99.9999% with Hasgar to 95% because I feel Hasgar might know something. So it's like each time it's going down a little more.
All right, his final question is for Rusty.
Mm-hmm.
Rusty, seriously, what the hell were you thinking going back into the Mage Tower?
I've been wondering that myself.
Yeah, you went in by yourself after seeing a giant ball monster split in two.
And leave the tower. So here was Rusty's thoughts. The llamas were nowhere to be seen. If we don't find those friggin' llamas, that girl's gonna have a mental breakdown. One.
Yeah.
That was a small part. The other part was, here is a mage tower with no mage in it and an open door. I'm gonna go play.
I am a buddy. I'm a cleric that wants to be a wizard, and there's an open magic shop.
Like, here is a gigantic red button that says "Don't press me." So
I'm just the.
I'm very proud of you.
Just love the fact that whenever you heard it had tremor sense, you were like, what?
They had who?
It was like the best.
Yeah, I was not expecting tremor sense, I must admit. I thought with all those balls, some of them had to be eyes.
No, just with all those balls, you want to be careful with the eyes.
I would like to pause for a moment, and Kayla, you had another question?
Well, no, I didn't have a question. I had more of a statement.
Okay.
See the rogue part of me, because I play rogues, I would have totally went into the tower by myself and raided the entire place.
Right?
And how well did that turn out for old Rusty?
We'll find out on the next installment of Dice Crisis.
We don't talk about five. No.
You're gonna get the mouse on us.
Oh yeah, crap.
I do not want to fight with the mouse.
Lord Mighty Mouse, I will ruler of all.
So I actually have a question for our dungeon master.
Oh, good Lord.
Seriously, what made you come back for a second campaign with us?
Yeah.
That was
No,
my
that's
question.
not.
No, that was my question.
Sorry,
That was your
did not mean to
question?
steal your thunder.
My question was literally, after doing about 1.5 years with this group, what convinced you to come back and want to take this abuse again? It's not easy being a DM.
Maybe I like it. Honestly, when we finished up the campaign that we had played, and I'm trying not to reference the last campaign we played as much because people aren't going to understand it. It's more of an inside joke, and I actually do reference quite a bit of the first campaign we played in the current campaign. If you're ever like, what are they talking about? Where are these big dragons and monsters and whatnot? Previous campaign. And that's one of the reasons why I say, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, or critiques, put them in the questions down below. And that way they can be addressed and we can share some of that. But when I played with you guys, I was a newbie DM, barely understood what I was doing. I had to lean heavily on the more experienced players because I was also not a greatly experienced player at the time. But I made Mongo and Eddie cry on more than one occasion. And that's not me being intentionally cruel or mean or
It's just telling a really great story.
I find that the more they interact with this very vanilla world, it starts swirling in the flavors. And I started thinking about different things and aspects of what would make them have a visceral reaction. And it wasn't just Mongo and Eddie's characters, it was also everyone else's characters. And I think Gordon's character was probably the most nonplussed character out there. He's just take it as it is, free flow, cool. Oh, I'm a dragon now. Okay, cool. But as I kept going,
To be fair, I was playing a lizard folk, and they're like not big on emotion.
right, and that's totally cool. After a while, I'm like, yeah, he'll pretty much take anything as it comes. But getting to the point where I could cause Eddie and Mongo to have emotional reactions, and that would not hurt them in the campaign. It actually helped them flesh out their characters a little bit more, became more realistic, and the role play became so much more than it had previously been. So I thought, okay, I got these two guys. And then I got Brian on the last session.
Yeah, you
by
did.
literally making him a god. And
That's exactly what he needed.
Yeah. And
Cheese and crackers.
so when we were discussing doing a new campaign, I was excited about the prospect, but I don't know. I'm just a guy, and I had an idea. But if you guys are up for it, and it was a resounding yes, and everybody was very excited about how we left the campaign, and this new campaign, I definitely want to do something a little more edgy, a little more difficult, throw in a mystery, maybe a few heists here and there, not to get too spoilery, but yeah, absolutely wanted to go into the realm of Dungeons and Dragons and see what I could stir up and make my own. And I can't make it my own without my great players.
Mm.
And he settled for us instead.
Yeah.
Right? So
Self-deprecating humor, that's how we survive in this game.
Honestly, it's the last character when I played her and you got me to cry. I had to hide my tears. I turned off the camera and everything. And it wasn't sad tears, it wasn't angry tears. It was just, I was so happy that my character had such growth and development, and you were able to provide that. And I loved it so much. I've done it a couple times to Kayla's characters and Brandy's characters. It was nice to have it turned on to me for once.
Oh yeah, Brandy's character almost committed suicide.
That's for another story. I may have gone a little too far.
I enjoy the idea of, oh, we have this monster, let's go fight it, haha.
Yeah.
And there's blood and guts and action and glory and all that. But at the end of the day, those are the little moments, and they don't define us as much as those quiet moments do. And I found that out in my own life. I have, we'll say I've had some action-oriented jobs in the past.
You could say that.
So that was fun and everything, but it's everything in between those explosions and gunshots and yeah, it's the quality moments that really turn you into who you never thought you could become, but you end up being anyway. So
I like that. So I am going to cut everyone off now because we have been on for quite a while. I would like to thank Kayla and our special guest John for coming on tonight. If you guys have any more questions, comments, go ahead and just leave them on YouTube or Facebook. We'll answer them for you. Also, Mongo, are we sponsored tonight? I think we're sponsored by the King's Nuts, correct?
Why, yes, the King's Nuts, sweet, salty, and meant for your mouth. If you haven't tried the King's Nuts, you should.
All right.
Available in a variety of sack sizes.
Hey, do not offer that. It's already hard enough. I'm still trying to make the product of the King's Nuts. Do not give me sizes. Just work on your Queen's tart.
I was just gonna say, if the King's Nuts are not exactly your flavor, then you can always try the Queen's tarts.
The nuts are a bit salty.
Soft, supple, sweet, bouncy.
All right. I hope everyone has a wonderful night, and we are so grateful to have all of you lovelies joining us.
Thanks to
Thank
everybody. Again,
Thank
I'm your host, Mongo. That's my beautiful co-host, Eddie. Our dungeon master, Justin.
Mhm.
Our
Conspiracy
conspiracy theorist gnome, Gordon.
We love all of you, and we love your faces.
Thank you guys, and we look forward to seeing you on Sunday
Yep.
night, 7 o'clock.
Session 5.
Same time, every time. Bye, guys.